Okay, well, let me know. Well, the one thing we're gonna be talking about. Interviewing Terry Sanders, and then we're gonna be talking about ballot measures, Amy.
Yeah.
And depending on what happens at the board tomorrow, we may be bumping up the contribution to Sylvia. That was something I just, since it wasn't unanimous, I wish I didn't.
Selena's sister used,
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she reached out over the weekend. She's like, can I? Sure.
Best you don't.
Sure.
She is not.
Ross, are we ready to rock?
I believe so, Mr. Chair, and we actually have a quorum in the room, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, this will be the first time we're doing this with a hybrid meeting, so bear with me if you will. Thank you all for coming to the SCTCA CAC meeting. And we'll go through and we'll do introductions. I want to remind those that are virtual, hi Dennis, to make sure we are in compliance. So Ross had something specific he wanted me to remind you to do. And when he gets back in here, what is it that I need to remind them to do?
Oh, just for members such as Mr. Harder on the screen there, just yeah, keep your video on, and
Okay,
I believe if there's other adults in the room, you disclose it.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, let's do self-introductions. I'm John Bly, Executive Director of the Northern California Engineering Contractors Association and Chair of this august committee. And we'll go around this way and do self-introduction.
Brian Ling representing the 4th District.
Musa Bassi representing the Santa Rosa Chamber.
Steve Berlow with the Sierra Club.
Jeff Blakeslee representing SOS Roads.
Angela Conti, Transit, Paratransit Coordinating Committee.
You had to read that, huh?
Just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Tim's Honors, Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau.
Eris Weaver, Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition.
Jerry Glazer, North Bay Electric Auto Association. Did that on my own.
Rick Lutman, representing the League of Women Voters.
Mark Soyland, District 2.
Tom Banning, District 3.
And let's go to the back of the room and then we'll go virtual to you, Dennis.
Derek Montani, City of Cloverdale.
Tony Bertolero, City of Sebastopol.
Oriana Hart, City of Sebastopol.
Chris Barney, SCTCA.
Shauna Gauze, SCTCA.
Steph Britt, SCTCA.
Dana Teray, SCTCA.
Adam Garcia, SCTCA.
And
Brenton Hare, SCTCA.
perfect timing, Brent.
Ross Clendenin, SCTCA, and since it's small, I can attendees. We have online. We have David Ripperda, SCTCA, Jan Schiller, Gina Erickson, and Stephanie Elliott is being promoted as we speak.
And Dennis?
Okay, so you introduced everybody that's on screens. We don't need to.
I believe just Dennis. Sorry.
Oh, just Dennis. Okay. Where's David? I thought you said he was on screen too.
He's appearing as a member of the public, just reflecting.
Okay. All right. Hi, Dennis. You want to introduce?
Hi, I'm Dennis Harder representing Sonoma County Alliance, and there's no one else in this room. And thank you for allowing this me as the first guinea pig for this opportunity.
All right. We got Stephanie.
Hi, y'all. Stephanie Elliott, District 5. There is my husband in the room with me.
All right. Thank you guys very much. If somebody else comes on, we'll try to coordinate that and introduce. So with that, let's go to, thank you guys. Let's go to public comment on items not on the regular agenda. I didn't see anybody as a member of the public other than our Cloverdale and Sebastopol staff.
We have
So
2 members of
seeing-
the public.
Seeing no public comment, We'll move on to administrative items in the March 30th meeting minutes. Ross, you want to present that, or Rick has something on that? You want to make a motion second and get into discussion, or what would you like to do? What do you want to do, Rick? Pardon?
I want to make a comment on the minutes.
Let's, for the sake of brevity and
All right,
time, let's go ahead and make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve them.
Second, and then we're in discussion. Rick, you have a couple comments on the minutes.
Yeah, on page 6 of the minutes, left column, near the bottom is a discussion about the Brown Act and in particular quorum. And a question was raised that is described in the minutes, and that's fine. But it seems to me there were quite a few other questions relating to quorums that probably should be mentioned, and we should get answers to them. The thing is, if the number of people in the room and on Zoom is just about equal to the quorum, so if somebody leaves or somebody enters, it might change whether we have a quorum or not. So apparently this has to be monitored continuously. We could go in and out of session depending on who's here.
Maybe we should ask our folks that are online if they are planning to stay for the entire meeting. Okay, Stephanie, are you staying for the whole meeting?
That's my plan.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a quorum, Ross?
We do.
Okay, so let's
We do. And
let's address the questions. Yeah, thank you.
But I was going to suggest that somebody ought to be appointed. I think maybe somebody on the staff be best to continuously monitor the quorum. So if somebody leaves or somebody comes in and it changes whether we have a quorum or not.
Absolutely.
Like this.
I was very worried about that because
There's one other thing I wanted to point out, and that is on the same page over in the right-hand column, the city or the town, whatever it is, of Agua Caliente is misspelled. It's AGUA and CALINIENTE. There's a Q instead of a G, and there's a missing I.
thank you.
Picky, I know, but
That's not hot water anymore. It morphed into something else.
if I may, Mr. Chair, just to restore, we will make that correction to Agua Caliente, no disrespect intended. But regarding the quorum, you are basically between Dawn and I, that's our job to take a look. The way that this is practically going to be handled is that obviously at the beginning of the meeting, we'll make sure that a quorum is established, and then before any action items, we'll need to take a quick glance and make sure. However, today we're well represented. I'm not concerned, but that will be something, especially for the smaller committees. And I don't even for the board. I mean, the quorum makes a big difference about whether to take action or not. So we will be monitoring that. Yes.
Yeah, compliments to this committee. This core group. I mean, we show up and we put the time in, and I appreciate all you guys doing that all the time. So, Jerry, you had another
Just
comment?
one comment on that topic. You were doing that before anyway, just the set of ruling was different as to how you counted people. One thing on the agenda that was missing, and I'll just mention it again. I made a comment about when we were talking about mascots, that it was important for Golden Gate to now coordinate with SMART. So if SMART is late, buses need to wait for SMART to show up in order for coordination to work. That's always been done with the ferry. Like if the train was late, they would call the dispatcher at the ferry and say, "Can you hold the ferry for 10 minutes?" So that people could make the ferry. Now we have it with the buses. It's actually even more important. And I've had people come to me. I was at Earth Day this week. Talk to me about how they were nervous about the coordination now that 101 was gone. So the coordination really is imperative.
Yeah, and just to stay on point, is this something that you wanted amended in the minutes?
Add that comment to the
Okay.
minutes as well. That point was brought up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, corrections, or additions or subtractions to the minutes? All right, I think we're ready to call for the question. So all those in favor of the minutes as amended in this discussion section, say.
I think you have to do a roll call.
That we're on roll call. You're right.
We have to roll call.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not all in the room.
All right.
Yeah, that will be the case.
So
Forward, basically.
Don, you want us to just go like the clock turns or the other way? You're gonna read them to us.
Problem is, I don't know if I captured everybody that's here, so I'm gonna have to go down the whole roster.
That's okay.
Okay. So, Tim Zahner,
I actually have to abstain because I wasn't at that meeting. So
okay. Mark Zoyland,
Yes.
Tom Banning,
Yes.
Brian Ling,
Yes.
Stephanie Elliott.
Yes.
I saw her lips move. I saw what she said. Mark Hale,
Not present.
absent. John Bly, sorry.
Aye.
Rick Lutman,
Aye.
Jerry Glazer,
Yes.
Carol Taylor,
Not
Absent.
present.
Musa,
Yes.
Angela Conti,
Aye.
Steve Bertolo.
Here.
Is that a yes or a no? Or,
We are voting.
We're voting on the minutes.
Yes or no?
Were you here last month, Steve?
Yes,
You were here last month.
I was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
so,
Saw you last month.
so that's a yes.
I missed it.
Was a yes.
I wasn't here, I was online.
Dennis Harder,
Yes.
Kathleen Cortez, absent.
Not present.
Eris Weaver,
Yes.
Tom Conlon, absent.
Absent.
David Harris.
Yeah.
Riggs Loca. And that's everybody.
Wasn't me.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got Jeff Blakesley on there, Don?
Jeff Blakesley, I'm sorry, which,
He was,
okay.
yeah,
Jeff.
kind of went off and
Blakely.
came back on, I think.
Aye.
Yes, okay, thank you. Now I have everybody
Okay.
and it does pass that.
We're gonna have to extend this meeting a half hour for votes. Thank you guys very much. All right, we're on to the measure items. So the Go Sonoma project presentation, which is City of Sebastopol staff, and Shauna, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome, everybody, to this first hybrid meeting. This is very exciting. As we do every month, we have a project presentation for you. And actually, we have two because we had a regularly scheduled one and now we have a rescheduled one. So you'll be hearing from the City of Sebastopol staff and the City of Cloverdale staff. So I'm going to introduce the City of Sebastopol first, and Ariane Hart will be giving the presentation, and she is supported by Tony Bertolero.
Great, thank you.
Is there another? Yeah, sorry.
It's awkward, ladies. You gotta you've been here before, I assume. You gotta kind of look.
They've got to sit up right here.
Oh,
sir.
oh my God, we are uptown.
it's a lot better.
Good afternoon, committee. I am Oriana Hart. I'm the new Public Works Director for the City of Sebastopol, and it's a pleasure today to come here and talk about the Bodega Avenue Bike Lane and Pavement Rehab Phase 2 project that we're in the middle of. And since I've only been here 2 months, I have brought Tony with me, who's been the project lead on this for many years, to kind of get us started with the historical perspective of where we came from. If I can get us advanced. Here we are.
Okay, thank you, Ariana. Our project is located in the city of Sebastopol and is the second phase of the bike lane and pavement improvements along Bodega Avenue. The phase 1 bike lane and pavement improvements went from High Street to Nelson Way. And our project, phase 2, this current project, is from Nelson Way to Pleasant Hill Road. That's that big, you can see the blue line on Bodega Avenue. And subsequent to the project approval, we did receive approval for a scope change to add a small segment from Valley View Drive to the city limit at Atascadero Bridge. And that's that second little blue segment that you see there on the map. We requested the scope change because we did receive a number of public complaints about the condition of Bodega near the bridge. And so we were able to include that into the project. Next slide. So the project description for the phase two project was similar to phase one. It was widen the pavement to accommodate the new bike lanes, install new bike lanes from Nelson Way to Pleasant Hill Road. Those are class 2 bike lanes. And for that small segment that I mentioned to you that we added near the bridge is a class 4 bikeway on the south side of Bodega Avenue from Valley View to the creek. And part of the project is also to upgrade or add new curb ramps and sidewalk along the project area and to rehabilitate the pavement in the project area. So the scoping for the project actually began back in 2018, and a large part of the public involvement and outreach occurred then for the bike lanes and pavement rehab for both phase 1 and phase 2 and portions of what will the future phase 3 project. And the design, which included environmental documentation, preparations of plans and specifications, and right-of-way began in 2021 and was actually completed in 2024 for both phase 1 and phase 2 projects. And prior to the bidding the project in 2025, we did have our engineer revisit the design as part of the constructability process. And it was at that time that we requested the addition of the segment from Valley View to the bridge. And Team Gelati was awarded the construction contract, and the construction started in January and is estimated to be completed in June of this year.
All right. So these are the design plans kind of overlaid on an aerial of the city of Sebastopol going down Bodega Avenue. And one of the complicating factors with this project was we have the Huntley development that is going in kind of right in the middle of our project and impeding the ability to put in a bike lane on that particular section. So we started construction in January. They're well underway. And in that process, the Huntley development folks have re-engaged. So they are in the process of getting their gas line moved for PG&E that is in the kind of slopey dirt section of that raised parcel that's coming into Bodega and, making it so that we can't put the bike lane there. So we just did the grind out on the roadway last week, and we're hoping to start paving this week or next week. So Huntley won't be ahead of us or with this project, but they are hoping to do their frontage improvements by the end of the summer. So we should be complete with our project, hopefully with striping in the end of May into June, and they should be directly behind us making this little section so that it is a continuous bike lane. And then this is the little section that Tony mentioned that it was added to the scope with the class 4 bikeway between Valley View and the creek, which this section is in poor condition. So it's already been paved and it's looking much better. We're hoping to actually potentially continue the striping into the section in between to make it just work better for traffic overall. And these are some of our pictures. We haven't really done the pave yet. So this is the first piece that was done, the ADA sidewalks and ramps. You can see them forming them up and the final product. That bench we kind of pulled back and cleared up so that the people coming out of the Burbank housing development have somewhere to sit as they're using that intersection. Okay. And this is the forming up of the retaining wall, kind of as we widened the roadway to make space for that bike lane. And this is near the Huntley development, a little bit east of there. And finally, we just have kind of our costs. I believe the grant was $2.4 million and we're 2.24. So we're going to come in a little bit under budget because of the pricing that Team Gelati gave us. And with our match money, this is where we're anticipating that we'll end up at the end of the project. And that's what I have, unless, Tony, you think there's anything I missed that we should mention. No, we're here for questions.
Eris?
I have two questions. One is I noticed on that little piece at the end that looked like you did the class 4 on the south side. What's on the north side? Is there a class 2 on that side?
No.
Okay. And what are people supposed to do going that direction?
Maybe you could put that drawing back up?
What are they? What are they?
Oh,
Yep.
oh, oh, that's true. It's just easier to talk to the
Mhm.
drawing.
See, if you could answer the question of where does it go to and from? That is, where does it connect to?
Yes, so on, as you're heading, westbound. Oh, yeah. As you're heading west, there's nothing that's going to be on the north side. As you're heading westbound, it's going to be, connecting to that existing trail, that county trail. And so that's where it's supposed to be ending up. And so one of the things that we're planning to do is talk to the county about doing a better job maintaining that trail. And so that's what it connects to.
Is it trail?
As your head,
Which side? Where's the trail? Is it on the west side?
it's
The bridge?
it's on the south side. See where it says existing,
Yeah, it has a gate there, right?
say that again?
Is there an open trail today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as you're heading eastbound, it just starts at Valley View Drive. Eventually, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be connecting it all the way to Regal Road, and that's part of the Phase 3 project,
Dirt path.
right? So, yeah.
Okay, so my second question was, so this is the little piece that was over here at the end, and then there's the other piece that you showed in blue. What's in between the two?
And between oh, yeah, that's part of the Phase 3, as I mentioned. And so what's going to happen is Phase 3 is going to continue the Class 4 bikeway. It's going to stay on the south side, and it's going to connect to Regal Road. And the crossing is actually going to be at Regal Road. There's an actual pedestrian bike crossing at that location.
Okay, but there's still not going to be anything on the north side,
No.
northwestbound
No,
side.
no, it's going
And
to.
why?
That was when his whole thing was conceptually designed back in 2018 and 2022. The plan was always for the Class 4 bikeway. There was just more room on that side. And so that's in less issues with environmental concerns. And so that's the reason why they kept it on the south side.
So is that intended to be a two-way cycle track?
Yes.
Okay, so the ultimate is so right now it's not, right? Because there's not something over there.
Right now,
I'm trying to visualize riding the entire thing and having to gaps, and then where do you go?
You can go through the neighborhood.
Can I say something?
Is that Stephanie?
It's
Yeah.
I couldn't hear where that came from.
We got a lot going on. So Eris, I don't want to,
Okay.
Stephanie, just hang on for a second. Do you want Stephanie to jump in on your question?
Pardon?
I just know this zone, so.
Because she lives.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Sorry, Eris. I know this zone and I used to actually bike it with my kids. So I'm excited to see that there is any more improvement to it. The existing bike path isn't very well maintained, so it would be great if the county did continue to do that. And just knowing that this connects potentially children to be able to ride to school, I do think it will be nice that it connects at that actual like really clear stop or place to cross at Regal Road and have it just be on one side. I think for safety of kids, that would be the best route for them. Just like I said, knowing this area really well.
Hang on. Donna?
Also has hand raised.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I can't see that. Let's go with David and then Tom.
Oh, no.
No, the other Tom. Tom 2. David?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the CAC. Just to add to the discussion, as noted by the city, there is a planned Class 1 bike path between Valley View Drive and Regal Road. That bike path is part of the city's grant application for the Phase 3 Bodega Avenue project that was submitted for the SCTCA funding program. And we will be making funding recommendations for that program later on this summer. So it's definitely a gap that we are aware of. As mentioned, Valley View Drive can be used as kind of that westbound movement in the interim, but the plan is to have a Class 1 bike path on the south side to provide connectivity to that two-way Class 4 separated bikeway that's included in this change order that was approved as a minor scope change by the SCTCA board back in December. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Tom B, not Tom C.
Will the city of Sebastopol be taking cyclist counts as you work through these phases, like with instrumentation to see if there's any increase in two-wheel traffic?
That is not something that we had talked about doing. And I don't think we did that as part of phase one as well, but that's certainly something that we could take.
I would encourage doing that, especially as you build out in between. And also going back to this class 4 diagram that you have there, there's a concrete barrier between traffic and the two-way bike path. Can you speak to that? How high that is? Is that poured in place?
It's actually not a concrete barrier. It's those K71 delineator markers. I think it just looks in this.
It's the plastic delineators?
Correct.
Okay. And spacing at a certain spacing, I take it.
Correct.
Okay.
Under the Caltrans standards.
Okay. Thank you.
Jeff? And then
I'm not
Jerry.
sure if this is a question for you or for SCTA, but I see that on your funding sources, you have both SB1 and Measure M listed. And I'd like to know which buckets those come out of in those funds. Is it a combination of local road repair and new projects? Is it all coming out of local road repair? I'd like to know the answer to that on both of those for Measure M and SB1.
Can you advance it if this slide is?
They're coming out of the LSR budget,
There we go. Too far.
both, so also new projects and LSR. Does the new projects cover the bike lane part?
In terms of the costs, we have the Go Sonoma grants, which is the $2.1 million that we identified there. In terms of the other buckets, if you will, Measure M, these are the old Measure M monies that we actually set aside for this project. And so there's a total of 230 plus the 258,000. And then SB1 is actually the city's local road
Right.
allocation for SB1.
I just wonder what bucket that allocation came from.
Oh.
There are different categories
Oh,
where
I
it's
see.
supposed to be spent.
They have to answer it, not you.
Okay, gotcha. They have to answer
We'll
it.
let them answer it later.
Okay.
Thank you. I believe the Measure M funds are coming out of the LSR bucket. That is the apportionment program. They've been banking their funding and they will be spending their LSR money. I believe that the SB1 funding is also the Road Repair Act funds that come directly to the city based on a formula. And that is something that they report to the state, but it is their money to do.
Is it so that bike lane improvements and those kind of improvements can come out of the road maintenance funds? Because I know they're smoothing the road out. They're also adding bike lanes. I'm just wondering if that was all coming out of the road maintenance and
Yes.
smooth roads fund.
Yes, it is LSR funding.
Thank you.
Jerry.
Yeah, and two things. I was on the planning commission when the Huntley was first brought up. That's why I asked the question. I wrote you earlier asking when will they finally have this? Because having a bike lane that you can't really use. I mean, you stop at that spot. And I didn't understand the class 4, and thanks for the explanation. One of the things in the presentation, even early on in the project, it would be great to have in explanation. This class 4 is here in order to take advantage of the next phase. And then we wouldn't have the question on the table. We'd understand why it makes some sense to do those things. So.
Thank you. I'll take that.
And Stephanie has a question?
I'm just curious with this project. I noticed, I'm not exactly sure where it is. It's towards the beginning, a little bit past Luther Burbank on the north side. The sidewalk like really jots up because there used to be like maybe tree roots or something in the way. And I noticed they started to repave it. And I'm just curious what what it's supposed to look like, because it does not look like it's ADA approved it right now. And I'm just curious how that part of the project is supposed to plan, like.
You're probably speaking about the corner on Virginia where it raises up significantly.
Yeah.
The project as it's currently scoped is just to do the ramp and then to kind of meld into the existing grade. So it's not funded to do that whole section of improvement.
So that sidewalk is going to stay kind of not very accessible.
Yes, currently that's the plan.
Yeah, it's just interesting because it seems like I'm excited to see this project happen, but it feels like there's so many pieces to it that aren't actually going to go into completion so that it doesn't actually then make it a functional area.
I agree with you. And we do have a request to the contractor to look at some pricing to do that entire section of sidewalk, but I'm not sure that we have the budget to do it because it is a kind of a substantial build to pull that area down and make a retaining wall behind it to actually meet ADA. But we are looking at what a pricing would cost and if we could do that current while they're there currently.
Knowing the nature of the contracting right now, you'll never get a better price than right now. So they're hungry. Thank you very much for that.
Are you staying till the end of the meeting?
I don't know. I could.
Well, the next item in the meeting, you might have a question of me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Good afternoon again. Now we have Derek Montagna, who will be speaking to you on two different projects that are scheduled to receive Go Sonoma funds. And those are the Cloverdale sidewalk completion and the traffic calming projects.
Okay, thank you. Derek, you're up. Thanks for driving all the way down.
Hi, my name is Derek Montani, and yes, Cloverdale is still part of Sonoma County.
Just barely.
We're still there. We're still there. So we secured in the, I guess it was the 2021 Go Sonoma project, call for projects. We secured funding for two projects. So the first project is what they're calling the sidewalk completion project. That's going to complete a section of sidewalk between Shady Lane and the Muscat Creek Bridge. It's a small section of sidewalk in Cloverdale. You can go to the next slide. Or does this work? Can you all see that? It's a very small section of sidewalk. Oh boy, did I do that? There we go. So as you can see in these project pictures, we have the northern edge of this northern tie-in. That would be the closest section to Shady Lane. And then we have the southern section. This is a tie-in and an ADA ramp. And then you can kind of see it in this picture of the southern section where that crosses Muscat Creek there. There's currently a bike lane and a pedestrian walking area. We're just choosing to continue the sidewalk section. We're going to taper that retaining wall out and put an elevated sidewalk section across this area.
Could you please move the mic a little closer to your mouth? Thank you.
So the project, it's going to close gaps along the southern Cloverdale Boulevard, connect Shady Lane, obviously to Muscat Creek. It's going to improve ADA access, especially in front of the local church there. We're going to install a small section of retaining wall, taper it to the pedestrian walkway, and it's going to support safer routes to school in this corridor area. So our budget, as we got this project in a set of two projects in the 2021 call for project for Sonoma. The scoping was not part of this project. We've got the CEQA documentation finished, done. It's finalized out. We're going into design. We looked for engineering And we should be signing a contract with an engineer soon for the retaining wall and the drawings for the sidewalk. Next step, the city's going to enter into service contract with the selected engineer for the project. And we're hoping to see on schedule and see this completed in November of 27 with the construction phase. Project costs we have broken down here. It's a total project of $970,000. The Go Sonoma funds that was granted was a $700,000, or sorry, the Go Sonoma funds that were granted were it should, and there's a mistake on here. It should be 500,000, not 700 in that first line. I apologize. So the total grants for Go Sonoma on that project was 500,000. We're using the Measure M banked LSR monies. That 220 is correct. We have our local streets fund, which is baked into our yearly budget. We've put that in at 100,000, and then we have a local streets and roads tax, sales tax that we passed last year. We're going to commit $168,000 from that fund to finish this project, and that can be used for streets, sidewalks, pedestrian, bike lanes, and a multitude of other things. So. And then that's it. That's the sidewalk completion projects. Is there any questions on that?
Yeah. The last time, it was presented, I said, this comes out to $1,700 a linear foot. Is it the retaining wall that brings the price up? Because that sounds like an awful lot to pour.
It's the retaining wall and the potential for that creek crossing. For them to have to attach stuff on the bridge for it because of the elevated walkway.
Make it wider. Okay.
Because I think the stem wall on that bridge was at 14 inches. Okay. They're saying if we're going to elevate it, it's gonna cause a bunch of effects.
Do you have any easement or right-of-way issues? Do you have to purchase anything?
Nope.
Okay, good.
That's why we're bringing that retaining wall kind of back in, because that's the extent of our original right-of-way acquisition. And we do have a bike lane and a pedestrian walkway currently just striped. So we're going to bring it back into that already existing right-of-way.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Thanks, Jerry. My question.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.
Yep. Yeah, I have a second project.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this is the second project that we were awarded, the traffic calming project for the city of Cloverdale. And this project is going to do, we're hoping quite a bit between Railroad Avenue and Franklin Street in Cloverdale. It's a large section of Cloverdale Boulevard.
That's the main drag.
Correct. So this would be Citrus Fair and south. So it's going to reconstruct, enhance South Cloverdale Boulevard from Railroad to Franklin, focusing on pedestrian safety, accessibility, and roadway improvements. It navigates active transportation upgrades, stormwater infrastructure, and creates a safe, more walkable corridor while extending pavement life, which is really what we're devoting a lot of time into right now. It's going to construct a class 2 bike lanes, a new crosswalk with pedestrian beacons. It's going to resurface and upgrade the roadway, upgrade striping, and improve safety and longevity. It's going to add curb extensions, bulb outs, and improve accessibility, transit access, and safe and traffic calming along the corridor. With this project, we're planning, this is our settled upon final striping layout. This is just an overlay drawing. I don't have the detailed drawing. That's why it's a little fuzzy here. The picture on the right is going to show the northernmost section of the project at Citrus Fair Drive, and it's going to be moving south, and you're going to see all the new striping. And the picture on the left is going to continue south from that Hillsborough Avenue section all the way down to Franklin. So the schedule, we have had this one quite a long time, along with the sidewalk completion project. We did finish the environmental for this. There's going to be no right-of-way acquisition either. It's all on the public right-of-way. Design, we're hoping to finalize the design this October. And then we've got contractors doing the striping design and finalizing all that right now. And we're hoping construction will be finished by early of 27. So with this project, we also, with the addition of some measured DD sales tax funds in the city of Cloverdale, which allows us to kind of expand on these projects. So this is one of those projects we're going to be expanding on, and I'm going to be bringing, well, let me backtrack a little bit. The original proposed scope cost, this is where that 700 came from, because I must have duplicated this slide. The Go Sonoma funds for this project, we were awarded $700,000. We're going to have a local funds. That's our general fund, street fund money that we've allocated in our budget. And then the Measure M banked LSR funds at 100, and we're going to devote 187,000 again of the Measure DD money to this. And so with that Measure DD money, our city council decided to devote quite a large sum of that total annual cost basis into streets. So I'm going to propose an amended project, and that project's going to involve include additional asphalt. We're going to do a grind and repave. We just saw the cost of these projects kind of starting to go down and be in our realm of our budget, and then also paying to remove striping. If we're going to do that, just add a little bit more grinded out fabric overlay, and we'll do the whole thing. And so our amended total project cost is going to be $1,308,000 is what we're hoping. All the additional costs are going to be on the city's fund totally. And we're not asking for any more Go Sonoma money. We're just going to change the project scope. Along with this project, what really triggered the scope change was some of the pedestrian amenities and bulb outs. Between application and award, we had chose to do those. So we put in a flashing beacon and some bulb outs. So in our original plan, we show flashing beacons and bulb outs. They already exist. So we want to continue to make the rest of this project add to that. So that was the one of the additional reasons why we chose to add these things to it. And then with the traffic signal, we're going to have a new traffic signal with visual and audible pedestrian crossing, all the updates. It's quite an old intersection. And so we really want to get all those amenities because it is going to show up most likely in the safer routes to school. We do have a lot of foot traffic through that intersection. So,
Derek, what's your Measure DD pull in every year? Roughly.
We haven't got a full 12 months on it, but we're hoping 1.2 million, and we're devoting 900,000 to streets.
Yeah, you're taking a big chunk out of it for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
John. And that's it.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to contribute. Thank you to Derek for telling us about the scope change that he is planning to request. That scope change has not yet been submitted to SCTA, and we will be considering it and bringing it to you and to the TAC as necessary. If it's a minor scope change, we might just do an informational item, or if it is a major scope change, depending on the materials that we receive, then we will, of course, bring it to you for a recommendation. Just wanted to make that part of the logistics clear.
Glad you guys got enough leeway to take advantage of this market right now.
Yeah, we're hoping to get a lot of projects out while the bidding's good.
Yeah, thank you. Tom?
Thank you for that.
comment and a two-part question. Comment is, it's great to see LSR funds being nimbly used with multiple buckets from other sources to deal with these sideway gap closures and traffic calming and other kinds of measures. And then to Tom's comment earlier on Sebastopol, I'm curious what the existing speed limit is along this route and whether you have any plans to monitor for speed changes and or, as Tom said, bike and ped activity changes.
It's 35 in both areas.
And no plans to change that right now?
No plans to change it with the width. I mean, I think some of these areas are 60, 75 feet wide.
Yeah.
It used to be Highway 101. And so that's where we're trying to do our road diet and our trying to slow everything down with as many traffic amenities as we can.
Right, you might see that naturally because of these calming improvements. And that's what I was wondering, are you planning to do any kind of post evaluation of whether you got those effects?
I mean, that really wasn't baked in the project. We did a lot of it beforehand. A lot of the stuff at the Hillsborough Avenue and Citrus Fair intersection, we did our traffic studies there, and that's what triggered those bulb outs and the flashing beacons, because we felt that they were needed, whether this project was going to get awarded or not. So they moved forward on a lot of the heavy pedestrian things right off the bat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Tom, B.
If you could clarify on your drawing, the light blue areas in the center of the road, as well as the red areas in the center, what do those represent?
The light blue and the red.
Kind of the baby blue.
I printed mine out in black. Could you pull the, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Median.
And a concrete divider?
It looks like a divider.
Yeah, dividers and medians. Yeah.
So those are raised curbs?
Yes.
And those are new?
Yes.
Okay, and the red?
Those are striping.
Okay, thank you. So really, without a change in the speed limit, I always think of traffic calming as lowering it, but if you're not changing it, really the only feature here that'll induce drivers to obey the speed limit are the bump outs, and now there's a raised curb in the center, and that'll say go slower.
We, on this picture on the right, where it says, that says curb ramp table hills right there. So right now, the way it's striped, we're going to go into one lane going south. Right now, we have two lanes going south for a long range of time or long distance, and then it merges in. So what we get is essentially it's a drag strip where everyone's trying to make it to where that lane merge.
Right.
And so we're going to dedicate the turn lane coming on Citrus Fair off the freeway onto the boulevard as a turn lane only, a single turn lane. Right now there's two turn lanes that turn into two lanes of traffic that go south for about 400 feet, 500 feet, and it's just a drag race to the merge. And so we're completely eliminating that, which is one of our bigger issues.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And I would just add, like Sebastopol, I'd encourage you to do some counts on, see if the cycling population increases on this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Derek.
Want to make sure, see if we have any public comment, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I just want to make sure we made space for public comment on this side, on this item.
Public comment or internal comment?
Well, I'm missing what you're asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just wanted to make sure we made space for public comment on this item. I didn't
ask for any public.
If we called for it.
Okay.
Yes. Is any public?
Do we have any public?
No. Good job.
Thank you.
Because it's online, if someone has to raise their hands, you have to.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I have a committee question. It's probably more directed at staff, and you don't have to answer it, but When we use calming as a descriptor for projects, I'd like to know as a CAC member, what really constitutes the notion of calming? Is there a certain amount of bump outs and pedestrian warning systems and a certain amount of mixed modal that's planned in there? Is there traffic studies to like people ask questions about reduced MPH for the signage? I'd like to know more about that because it's new to me, the concept of putting calming in the description of a project.
I think we got an answer coming up.
No, I was just saying you could rub a crystal, maybe that would be included as traffic calming.
But I think officially, is there like an AASHTO or some engineering traffic
Yes.
society approved definition here?
Criteria.
I believe David has his.
So I dropped a link in the chat and we'll have Ross and Don send it out to the group after the meeting. But Caltrans published a good traffic calming guide of the different types of infrastructure solutions that can be used to calm traffic. Those include speed tables, whether you call it chicanes to force people to kind of slow down, bicycle lanes, pedestrian improvements. So there's a variety of different types of treatments that can be considered traffic calming. The guide is specifically for projects on the state highway system, but it's very relevant for any projects on local streets as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other public comment? No, I'm just teasing. Go ahead, Brenton, you're up. Thank you.
It's in the presentation.
Oh, you put one in there. I see it now, yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Brent.
I think I know everybody, but I'm Brenton Hare, and I'll be doing the monthly Measure M and Go Sonoma financials presentation. It was a relatively low volume month for Go Sonoma, a little more exciting for Measure M.
Sorry. Didn't share screen. Going on there.
All righty. Yes, and so as you see, this is for the month of March 2026. All right, the order of materials for the financials is the same as usual. Go Sonoma balance sheets and then cash flow reports, and then Measure M balance sheets and cash flow reports. We're still playing around with the format of these reports to try to make them a little more readable. We might do a little bit more experimenting next month between the amount of labeling we have in there and layout. So please bear with us. We're trying to make it the most readable we can. But the information provided is the same as usual, just a slightly different report format. All right, and here's the quick summary of Go Sonoma. Just over $2.2 million in revenue in March, bringing year-to-date revenues for Go Sonoma up to $18,850,000 and $73,000 of expenses, bringing year-to-date expenses just under $7 million. And Go Sonoma has a cash balance of $15,695,000. This is the note on the Measure M to Go Sonoma loans. The loan balance from Measure M to Go Sonoma to Kickstart programs last year. The loan balance is currently $1,847,000, and that would impact the Go Sonoma cash balance if we repaid it today. We are planning on repaying at least some of the loan in the near future, so probably won't see that on the next CAC meeting, but the one after that you'll probably see. And the Go Sonoma admin fund is showing a negative cash balance, and that is expected. That is showing the end of the repayment of the Go Sonoma election costs. And it's currently, the Go Sonoma admin fund is currently receiving about $22,000 to $28,000 a month. So we expect that by the time we receive the March or April tax payments, Go Sonoma should be cash positive, or Go Sonoma admin should be positive.
Will the loan be paid back during this fiscal year?
I think that the loan is going to be paid back during the dual period. So part of the loan will be paid back this fiscal year and part in the early, like July of next fiscal year. So the March revenues for Go Sonoma, entirely Go Sonoma sales taxes. Next month, there should be interest, sales taxes, and possibly reimbursements. Okay, and here is the year-over-year change from Measure M. As you see for March, we did have a slight decrease after a couple of good months. We're now down 2.2% from what we received in March of last year. Although year-to-date earned, we are up 1.3% from where we were last year. So I think those couple of good months have carried us, but we did see a slight slowdown. And the taxes we received in March are for January. Okay. Just as a note, right? We have the 2-month lag time. So anything that we receive, we receive taxes that were earned 2 months prior.
So we're comparing January collections to January collection.
Correct. All right. March expenses, the $73,227, about evenly split between staff time and contributions to other governments. The contributions to other governments was a payment for the Fare Free Rides program, which is one of the major programs of Go Sonoma. And then we'll move on to Measure M. There were no revenues for Measure M last month. So the year-to-date revenues for Measure M are just over $1.8 million. And the year-to-date or the monthly expenses were quite large, $6,398,000, with year-to-date expenses of $8,425,000. And as you see, Measure M is still sitting on a lot of cash with just over $72 million. No revenues.
Okay. Makes sense.
And the March expenses, the largest portion, the $6,344,000 in contributions to other governments, was largely payments for the Hearn Overcrossing project.
But you don't consider the interest earned as revenue?
We will consider it as revenue, but we received the third quarter interest in March. So you'll see it next month. Yeah. All right. And then small charges for staff time and consulting services. And that concludes my presentation.
All right. Any comments or questions from the committee? Any public comment on the report? Thank you, Brenton.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Good afternoon again, members.
Hello.
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 I'm here to report out on the Measure M and Go Sonoma maintenance of effort reporting. Annually, each of the jurisdictions is required to submit their reporting to us of their maintenance of effort. The maintenance of effort is required by the Public Utilities Code. So it is something that says that when you get measure money, you are not allowed to supplant other funds that you are already spending on transportation. So each of the jurisdictions has established what their baseline is, and then they have to maintain that baseline. It is something that we connected to a rolling average rather than some of you members who have been on here for a while may remember that we used to just have each jurisdiction report, and if the average of all of them was within our maintenance of effort, then they were all compliant. Once we shifted to the new policy, each jurisdiction is required to maintain their own maintenance of effort. And so they have a 3-year rolling average. If their maintenance of effort drops below that 3-year rolling average, then they are out of compliance. Our policy states that if that happens, then they have to they have their apportionment docked by the percentage below the maintenance of effort that they are currently reporting until they are able to bring it back into compliance. That being the case, the only time that they report is once a year. So generally what happens is their apportionment is docked for that entire fiscal year. And then if they are back in compliance the following year, then they are put back into good standing. So we've heard from all of our jurisdictions, and all of our jurisdictions reported and are on time. However, one of our jurisdictions is below their maintenance of effort requirement by about 8%. That is the city of Sebastopol. So staff is recommending that the Citizens Advisory Committee provide a recommendation to the board that Sebastopol have its apportionment reduced by that 8% for next fiscal year.
Looking for a motion on that?
I am.
Let's, so we got a motion over here, a second, and then we'll get into discussion. Second by Mosa, and discussion, Rick.
Discussion from me too.
Yeah, I'm curious about the timeline. So this, you said this for the next fiscal year, which begins on July 1st.
Correct.
But it says in the packet that it's until it's fixed. So
Mhm.
what's the timeline on it? I mean, how long do they have to fix it? If the fiscal year ends and they haven't done anything about it, is it gone forever?
It is, it is redistributed to the other jurisdictions. That 8% that comes off of the top of their apportionment is redistributed to each of the other jurisdictions. And as I mentioned, it goes, it essentially, they only have one opportunity to report out on their maintenance of effort. So next year at the same reporting period, they will either be in compliance or they will not be in compliance, at which point we will determine what happens.
Well, would that include giving them the money that they would?
No, they don't receive the money back.
Oh, it never comes back.
No, our policy is clear that the money is just redistributed to the other jurisdictions and that money is not brought back to the jurisdiction.
Well, I guess what confuses me is it says in our packet, it said something about until they fix it.
Yeah, and they have one time a year to report out to us. So if it's not this year, then they have until next year when they offer their reporting to fix it.
I see.
If they're 10% below, then that number kicks in, whatever the
That's
number is
correct.
next year. It isn't like this 8% goes on.
That is correct.
All right, I'll go to you only if you silence your phone. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry. It's conditional.
Yeah, a couple of points. I've mentioned before that the way the Go Sonoma and Measure M were stated, they don't understand a community like Sebastopol, and which is a service community for the West County. It has a small number, the formula is based on the population of 7,700 people and a small number of roads, and yet their roads probably get worked over more than any other. I just want to make that one statement, but then I really had a question was, why the heck did they leave money on the table? Why did Sebastopol not spend the money? And what are the conditions that made that happen?
That's probably a question for the city of Sebastopol.
I actually sent it to the city council.
No,
And I didn't get an answer.
I cannot answer for the city council.
Oriana, you got an opinion on that?
That was one of the reasons I wanted.
You're in the saddle for what, 2 months?
You have all this history now with the city.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. The fiscal year that they were reporting on, we were in our fiscal crisis and we just didn't have the general funds to meet that requirement. So we know that because of the Bodega project that we just delivered on, we'll meet it next fiscal year because of the SB1 match money that we have in there. So it's hopefully a one-time thing. Additionally, the city has passed our Measure U since that time. So those funds, which we are actively trying to spend, will also help that in the future.
Are you guys really, really sorry?
We're really, really sorry.
Actually, to complete my comment, to influence the others who are about to vote. I believe that was probably the case for Sebastopol, that it simply did not have the funds and that they were trying to find a way to recover the funds. If we send a recommendation to reduce the funds that are available, we will accentuate the problem as opposed to allow them to start solving the problem. And so I would vote against this.
Mosa?
I don't know, comment or question, I see penalty for the jurisdiction that does not meet the 3-year average, but are there any rewards, for agencies that meet or exceed, because I see some agencies here, they exceed their goal significantly, you know. Do you take into consideration these when you allocate funds to different jurisdictions?
Policy is silent on that. The policy is simply to ensure that the discretionary funds that are available to the jurisdictions to spend on transportation that they were spending before they received the measure should continue to be spent on transportation after they receive the measure. But no, they are not rewarded for exceeding their maintenance of effort requirement.
Okay, we'll go to, oh, you did. Jeff, and then Dennis, and then Angela.
Is the reporting on what the budget says?
Please.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Is the reporting on what the budget says they're going to do this year or what they did last year?
What they did last year.
Okay. That's a lot better. And just one comment. I understand why you would vote against. I would vote for because I think that budgeting is choices.
Yeah, well, this is a general problem
Okay,
with the
we
city.
got a lot of people in the, so Dennis, you're next. Thank you.
Great, thank you. The maintenance of that effort has gone over the last, over the 30 years, many times the discussion gone over. And that's why I went to a 3-year rolling budget rather than an annual one. And so, because we've had the same problem in Windsor historically, when they did a huge project of which they overspent 1 year and the next year they're under, and vice versa. So not a new problem. That's why I went to a 3-year. It's important that we keep the policy in place. Otherwise, there's no reason to have an allocation. So very much support, and I'm going to make the motion that we go ahead and could you, Sean, do the wording again as to your motion? Because that's the motion I'd like to make.
We think we already have one
And a second.
and a second on the table.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
And we'll see where that goes. Angela, you're next, and then Stephanie.
Yeah, I was just wondering, when the PUC policy was established. Yeah, I was just wondering when the PUC policy was established. Has it been around? It sounds like it.
The Public Utilities Code?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. It's been since Measure M started, certainly.
Okay, so it's been around for a few years, and this hasn't happened with Sebastopol before that we know of.
No, it has happened with the county and it has happened with the town of Windsor.
The county and Windsor.
That's right.
Okay, Stephanie?
I'm just curious if in the reporting there is a way that someone can say they had like hardship or some certain circumstances so they can kind of like own up to that and be in that conversation, and there's a way then that can be taken into consideration.
The jurisdictions are allowed to establish, there are criteria within the policy in the strategic plan where they are allowed to establish that these were one-time funds that were, they were spent and they were committed to something and they didn't really have discretion over them. They were already committed in some other way. There are 3 different options that a jurisdiction can use to try to have an exception to the expenditure spending. But they can't beg hardship. No, that's not an option.
Okay. And a quick comment, and that is, I think the county of Sonoma is in budget discussions right now, and in the Press Democrat is a big article a week or so ago where PRMD cuts and road cuts and then health and human services cuts. So we may see county of Sonoma back on this issue next year.
Well, hopefully the 3-year rolling average
Covers
allows
that.
them some cushion. I will say that the county of Sonoma has put such a significant effort into roads over the last probably 6 or 7 years that it's possible, but we hope that rolling average will provide them enough of a cushion that it
Yeah, I
will.
only brought that up in the context of the discussion that's going on here. Go ahead, Rick.
Sorry, here.
On the bottom of page 9 in our packet in italics, there's a list of 3 reasons that a city could be forgiven. I take it that's what you were just referring to.
That is what I was referring to. Thank you.
And may we assume then that the staff has ascertained that the city of Sebastopol does not qualify under any?
The city did not apply for any of those exceptions.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I have another point.
Go right ahead, and then David is next after you.
The motion that's on the floor, I take it is just
Just so to refresh us, what was the motion on the floor? Can somebody read it back to me?
It was to approve the decision to accept staff's recommendation to enforce the policy.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Rick.
But this goes back to the question I raised before.
Thank you.
What it says is staff recommends, we recommend to the board that Sebastopol's share be reduced by this amount. And then it says, until the jurisdiction's transportation expenditure can be brought back into compliance. I don't think that makes any sense. I think we ought to delete that. Because what you told us is that it's gone forever. They can't get it back.
Until next year.
No,
next year.
no, they can't get it.
They can't get
money back, right?
Well,
Too
next
many
year, the
people
new,
talking.
new ball game, but this year, this 26, 27, it's too late now. Sebastopol's lost the money. In fact, I don't see that we even have any choice here. According to law, Sebastopol has to lose that money. So it looks to me like it's a pro forma recommendation, but I really think that we should delete that clause about until, because it doesn't make any sense.
Might be a separate motion after this one.
Rick, it's a policy, not a law.
Mosa?
In fact, I don't know. I seconded the motion, by the way.
Yes.
But I probably, after the discussion, I think we need to ask the city of Sebastopol, what's their budget for this year, like this number, like if they are expected, to exceed, the 3-year average, I feel it is unfair, to penalize them, like because I see in the table that last year they spent like $222,000, and the years before their spending was in the $350,000. Another option probably, the difference we are talking about $40,000 difference. Like if they come up like next year, they exceed that, rather than penalizing them, like I seconded the motion, but I have a change of heart based on the discussion.
Can I bring up a point of order? Our discussion may or may not allow an opinion on that, because these are just reporting, this is reporting criteria, right? It is what it is.
That's right. The jurisdictions, we established the policy,
No
the TAC,
disrespect, Melissa, but
the TAC and the board and the CAC all approved this policy back in 2020 when we updated it. And all of the jurisdictions are aware of it. It's understandable that it's unfortunate that the city of Sebastopol was unable to make their maintenance of effort requirement, especially given the 3-year rolling average. But the policy is established and is required by the Public Utilities Code that we have some sort of maintenance of effort requirement. It is required by the state for the SB1 funds, and it is required by the measure in order to maintain a effort for transportation funding.
And
But the policy, does it dictate what, we need to do,
Yes, it does.
Or-
It's in the staff.
Did we do the same thing for the other 2 occasions, Okay, I got it.
this was quite a long discussion a couple years ago when we put this into place. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but the wishes of Sebastopol and their MOE will come out in next year's reporting, and we'll actually see what the results are. I don't think we can make our decision based on the good nature or the goodwill or the good thoughts of Oriana. Yeah.
Oriana did state that with the Bodega Bay or the Bodega Avenue bike lanes project, that their
Spend it.
expenditure will go way up and
Right.
they won't have any problem meeting their.
So should be a one-time deal. Brian and then David. I may have you guys out of order, but I'll go Brian and then David.
I was just saying the maintenance effort topic was heavily discussed while this whole measure was being drafted, which was why many community groups supported it and why many voters voted for it, which is why we're all here. So I have no problem supporting this.
David.
Right. It just seems to me that if it's in the measure that went to the voters, I mean, this is just a matter of enforcing what's already, we don't have the power to change what was in the measure, right?
That's correct.
Would agree with that. Tom?
So just a point of clarification, they're going to be docked for the next 12 months. And that's the earliest they can bump back.
For fiscal year 26, 27.
Correct. And that's the earliest they can have a step change back up.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Just real quick, John.
Yes.
I think I might recommend to staff that they include the verbiage of this if it goes back to the board. Like I looked it up real quickly because we can't make policy here, right? We're an advisory committee. So, and if the voters voted on it, that's what they voted on it. But maybe include this little paragraph, the actual words. So, you know.
So I may not be able to do that because it's already been.
Oh, it's already there.
So what's the point of us even voting if it has to happen anyway?
I think it's, if I could offer my opinion.
Absolutely.
Staff.
Advisory.
You are advisory, and because it indicates that the Citizens Advisory Committee has been notified and that you are recognizing that this has happened and you are still recommending to the board that they approve it per the policy.
Well said. Are we ready to call for the question? Yeah, go ahead.
I did make the motion and Wusa did second and with some other comments, but I wanted to reiterate, following Dennis's lead, that and this last piece, very important for us to have these discussions around this table, but then give the board the benefit of our recommendation. So I'll call for the question. Thank you.
I was just going to offer, with all the discussion, is there any second thoughts on the second of the motion or the original motion?
I'll keep my.
Seconded or unmove it.
Sure they can. He can remove his second.
No,
He feels strongly about it.
I keep my second.
what I'm
but
asking.
Anyone can change the motion, during the discussion. But personally, I'll keep it based on what I heard, and the previous two, like incidents for two other jurisdictions. So it is a fair thing to continue. Personally, I was thinking, to give a break to give them a chance for following year, or, I asked her a previous question, like we should be rewarding, kind of the jurisdictions that significantly increase their spending, not just penalizing, jurisdiction.
Okay.
I know the question is called.
Did I miss Dave?
No, I comment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Abuse this. I don't think they tried to abuse it.
Have I missed anybody?
I only have one question, John. Sorry.
Only a couple I've only missed. Go ahead, Tim.
If it sounds like we have a lot of opinions on this, and although it's already written into law, it sounds like this is something we could possibly revisit if we agendize it at another time to look at, right? But we can't change this policy right now.
I think the point that I just heard too was this was a major reason for the voters passing this in the first place. I mean, I go back to the discussions that we were having. It probably would not have passed without an MOE.
Yeah, so it sounds like we can't.
So I'm not sure we
We'd have
want to get into that
That's my
pond.
point. Yeah.
But go ahead, Rick.
I want to make a motion to amend the motion by striking everything after the word until. On the grounds that I mentioned before, that it's meaningless.
Okay.
You can't get the money back.
Robert's Rules of Order. So you've got a possible amendment. I think I go to the second to see if you want to accept that, and then I go to the first to see if you want to accept that. Second, do you want to accept that amendment?
No, I don't.
Dies.
Nor do I, but we can talk about it afterward. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if somebody else wants to second it, we can vote on it.
The original motion is what we're talking about now, and he does not want to amend the motion.
Well, it's not up to them. It's up to the body. I've made a motion to amend it If somebody seconds it, we vote on it.
But I
Nobody
think he
seconds it,
has
it
a
dies.
point, if there's a second, we can vote in his amendment and decide if it is accepted or not. We cannot just decline it.
That's right.
I don't have my little Robert's Rules of Orders book, but I don't know that we
When
can.
there's a motion on the floor, you have to.
I think we got to deal with that first.
Amend it or pull it off.
And if they reject the amendment, then the vote has to be on the motion.
His could be
Second.
another motion and amendment after this is closed.
No,
Do we vote on the amendment or not?
No, yeah,
Does
vote
people
the amendment.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second the amendment.
Okay.
Because there's no until, it's next year, there's a new ball game, right? And so there's no reason to say anything about until they fix it. Next year, right, they've already lost it, so there's no until to fix it. But I guess the factual thing is, how many dollars are we talking about? 8% of what?
So Ross, the Brown Act, what does it say in this regard?
If I may, from policy 14, which was what Tim was trying to tell us. In the policy itself, it says the proportional loss shall be for a minimum period of 1 year and calculated using the percentage shortfall from the jurisdiction's MOE baseline. So that's the policy. I think that the wording in the staff report may be what's causing you some grief, and I will
Yeah.
be happy to remove that from the staff report.
Yeah, I think we look kind of silly going to the board with a clause that's meaningless.
Are we happy with that?
So it sounds, just real quick, it sounds like the motion is, you're making a motion that we comply with 4.14 policy maintenance of effort as written in the ballot measure. Does that make sense? Because the word until is where you're getting caught up on that, like, we're gonna bring this money back to you or not.
It sounds like they have
It's already
the,
decided by fiscal year. So
Right.
Until is not in the policy. It's only in the staff work.
correct. That's what I think we're gonna do.
But didn't the city of Sebastopol have an opportunity for an exemption, did you say, or?
So
But
the
they-
exemptions are allowed so that if you find, and it's really, it applies more to if a jurisdiction finds that they've spent so much more on their maintenance of effort that it might adjust their 3-year rolling average upwards out of a place that they might not be able to maintain. They are allowed to take some monies out if they fall into one of those 3 categories and have those not be considered part of their maintenance of effort. That's the only exception that's available.
And they
I want to make sure that we're clear on this. So the motion and the second that we have in front of us is to adhere to the measure as written. And the amended motion that Rick suggested is simply to do with the staff report wording. We're not changing.
What policy 1.4.14 says is what I heard.
Okay, so his amendment is changing the policy?
No.
No.
It's to implement the policy as.
So
stated.
if this is the
I'm
case.
so confused.
He doesn't like the wording in my staff report is what it comes.
That's what I
down to.
just said.
yeah.
So we're not changing the policy per se that's been approved.
That's right.
What we're recommending is that you just change the wording to the staff report. Is that?
yes, to reflect the fact that once this report has been made, they have lost the money for the next year and there's no until.
That's correct.
I don't think we should be
I
saying
have to
until.
Revise my staff report.
Staff concurs with that suggestion, Mr. Chair.
My question is that a separate motion or can we,
Motion, they're gonna do it.
you're just going to do that. So that's part, are we happy with the second and the motion?
Was, the same thing, there is no amendment to it. Yeah. I don't think,
Why are we making this so?
that's probably you are
That's
talking.
why I'm confused.
We will make the change, Mr. Chair. There's no need to make an amendment to the motion.
That's just change in the language or.
Yeah, we'll correct the language in the staff report.
Are we ready to
Stay
call for
with
the question then?
our original motion.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion?
I have to do a roll call vote.
I understand. I was just going to try to word it. I will back off because we got a lot of opinions. I think it's important to word what we're voting on
Okay.
because I'm confused. And if I'm confused, there's got to be at least a half of another person in here that's confused. So we're voting on the motion to uphold the staff with a minor change in the wording of the staff report. Roll call vote, please.
Let's see, Mark Soyland,
Aye.
Tom Banning,
Aye.
Brian Ling,
Aye.
Stephanie Elliott,
Aye.
John Bly,
Aye.
Rick Lutman,
Aye.
Jerry Glazer,
Aye.
Musa Abbasi,
Aye.
Angela Conti,
Aye.
Steve Bertolo,
Aye.
Dennis Harder,
Aye.
Eris Weaver,
Affirmative.
David Harris,
Aye.
Jeff Blakesley.
Aye.
That's everybody.
Oh, wait. I want
Did I
to
miss-
vote.
Oh, Tim, I'm sorry. See, I missed one. I'm sorry.
Assuming you call.
Tim.
And Tom Conlon too, and aye.
But how did I miss
Snow
Tom?
Valley getting tripped.
Oh, because Tom was out at the last one. I'm sorry, Tom. Tim,
Yeah, aye.
you were a yes, and Tom Conlon.
Yes, aye. Thank you.
Now we're gonna vote on the motion?
No.
No, we were voting on, okay, are we voting on to?
One motion at a time.
We, okay. As I understand what we just did, we voted on the motion and the second to uphold the staff report with the staff making a minor change in the wording of their report.
If that's what we just voted on, mine is no.
Okay.
Well, you've already voted.
Well, I'm
Restating his vote.
modifying my vote to no.
Yeah, they changed it.
Fine.
I'm sorry, is there a correction?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry Glazer was a no.
No.
And this was to the original motion, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
The only motion, basically.
Yes.
right.
All right. Thank you,
Right, there
Donna.
was half of us that didn't understand what we're voting on.
I tried. All right, thank you very much. Are we on to little gnats? Are we on to announcements? Because I have one. Okay, the Engineering Contractors Association is holding our annual Public Officials Night this Thursday at the Backdrop. And we are honoring as our bridge award, we're giving the bridge award to the city of Santa Rosa, who's accepting it on a part of SCTCA, Gelati Construction, and Caltrans for the Hearn Avenue Bridge Overpass. There's a very nice video, very nice presentation. And I mentioned to Eris that she might want to be there because she is involved in that project in a big way, vast way, huge way. So I'm extending the invite out here. I don't think we can feed you because we had to give the caterer the number on Friday. We're at about 230 people or so. But if you guys would like to attend, please let me know. I will get you in. You can have drinks, a name tag, go out there and schmooze and watch the video and so forth. I think you'd enjoy it. It's at the Backdrop Thursday night from 5:30 and we'll be out of there by 9.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend on Thursday. I'm having last minute back surgery tomorrow, so Eris can have mine.
What?
Last minute.
You're in the video. That doesn't matter. We're gonna smoke you in the video afterwards. Back surgery, that's not good.
Yeah.
Too young for that. Go ahead, Rick.
So
Jerry.
eventually, I'd love to see a report at some point how we're doing on electrification on our buses. Last week at the MIT Mobility Forum, the Chinese were explaining how they electrified their country, and they started with their buses. And the reason for doing that was to drive the cost down. Recently, BYD just sold 600 buses to the city of Santiago in Chile. And the way they sold it was they sold the buses, but they lease or they rent the batteries. And the reason for doing that, and I don't know if we can do this in California because of our lemon law, in leasing the batteries, if you can buy the bus, it's pretty inexpensive. And then you lease the battery. And in month one, the cost of operating the bus, including the capital recovery cost, is lower than driving the bus that you would have bought that was running on either gas, natural gas, or diesel. That would expedite our ability to implement buses because we don't need so much capital to do that. Shaw's idea.
Very nice. Eris, you have something to share with us.
Bike month starts on Friday. And we have a whole bunch of activities coming down. Even just this week, we have starting on Friday is a month-long team challenge, a bike challenge, and we're having a little party to kick that off on the 29th. Bike to Work Day itself is the 14th. And I passed around these cards on two especially cool events we're doing during the month. On the 20th, we're doing a bike shorts, a bike film festival at the Rialto in Sebastopol with 3 different films. And then on the 31st, to end out the month, Pedal Fest is a great big ass bike festival that'll be at Somo Village in Rohnert Park. And information at bikesonoma.org.
Tom has something too.
I've got something too. So there's a advocacy group called Trans-Bay Coalition, and they're going to be having a members meeting on April 29th. It's a virtual meeting, 7 to 8:30. Bringing it to this body because they want to talk about their successes in expanding bus service to downtown Pleasanton and the ACE station there. But they're also going to include updates on the Trans-Bay's North Bay ridership, North Bay Transit Riders group. So I thought that might be of interest to some of the folks around the table here. Also, of course, high-speed rail is something they're thinking about at the Trans-Bay Coalition. I know everybody loves that. And then a good news piece. I live in a pothole prone street in the Springs of Sonoma, but the SoCo Connect phone app, I took a picture of a couple of potholes and they were there. I think it was within 48 hours, maybe 36 hours. They had the whole street. Now it looks, patched, but it's better than having a deep pothole. So if everybody else is having problems, you can send that in very quickly through that application.
Can I, is that because of liability? And I don't know if we have our
I don't know.
Ariana's gone, but
I'm not going to answer.
I'm thinking when they put that on there and they notify that this is a danger and it's in writing, they got a record of it, they got to fix it.
I suspect too that there's incentives within the departments to close those tickets. That's the way customer service works in most organizations.
Jeff has something.
Question more than an announcement.
Okay.
SOS Roads strongly back to its several thousand subscribers that we vote yes on Measure Go Sonoma and SB1. And one of the reasons we did that was the amounts of money being put to local road maintenance. And I have to say, I don't think any of those members would have suspected that that would actually be reducing lanes and adding bike lanes. Even though I like bike lanes. But I'm just saying, from a voter's perspective, and I wonder if this is something this board could discuss.
Yeah, and I'll give you a short comment on that. When the backroom discussions were taking place, and I think Brian was a part of those with me, there was a lot of discussion as to what buckets would cover what. And some of them were covering public transportation. Some of them were covering total roads, multimodal transportation. And Brian, jump in here if you remember, but there was some overlap and some discretionary ability to fund things that wouldn't seem logical at first. Is that a fair statement, Shauna? Because I think your comment is coming from use of LSR funds for a bike lane rather than.
It says local streets and roads repair, smooth pavement.
How am I missing it? Go ahead.
I think you're talking about what was a 2-lane road is now a 1-lane road.
Well, I'm just saying that when you vote for something that says smooth and paved roads and fixed roads, that's what you're expecting. You're not expecting suddenly a smaller road with an island down the middle and bike lanes on each side that probably spent as much money on that as it was the little bit of pavement that was done during that process. I just think it's something we should discuss. I mean, someone's got to be accountable for what we vote for and what we get.
Would you like to sound off on this? Because I think this is important too.
Or do you want to get out of it?
I would say that the measure was crafted in order to maintain our roadway system, our transportation system, and to also allow us to try to achieve our GHG goals and the other goals that were laid out in the countywide transportation plan.
But there's different fund buckets for those items that the LSRs.
But they all contribute, yes. And I would agree with you. And I think that almost all of, it can be argued that almost all of the funding that is being spent is in fact smoothing roads and providing transportation for all. So.
It's close, I guess. If you're a voter and it says smooth and paved your roads, do you expect that to be?
Jeff,
If
I
you're a
could-
cyclist alone
if I
and you
could-
want smooth and paved roads, you want those roads to be able to be cyclable.
Jeff, I rode my bike here today and the entire time I was on roads. At no time did I levitate. I used asphalt the entire way. So I am a driver. I'm also someone who rides bikes and without, I think they do work together. I do hear your point, but look, she's even taking on her helmet. She's getting serious.
I was just saying, if you surveyed the voters, they would say, no, that's not what we thought it was.
That's the old voters who say that.
Mr. Chair, if I may, the ordinance and the expenditure plan that went to the voters specifically said under the smooth and maintained roads category that all projects would take into consideration bicycle and pedestrian needs, traffic calming, intelligent transportation system technology, construction methods and materials that reduce emissions, and appropriate safety measures. So that was exactly what went to the voters.
Thanks, David.
Covered it.
All right. With that,
Get out of your car.
All right.
we're adjourned.
So many hours.
All of this systems back.
I'm gonna go modify my stuff.
Very much. Just.